So friends, yesterday we have seen about the topic of defining and the non-defining characteristic feature of living world. We have seen the defining as 3 and the 2 were the non-defining characteristics, which includes reproduction and growth. Now today we are going to talk about the next topic of first chapter, that is the diversity in the living world. We will be focusing upon the next topic, and that is biodiversity. So let us understand what is the meaning of biodiversity. You can understand from the word bio means what? Living. And diversity means what? The differences, we can say the differences that is existing among the living species. Like no two individuals are similar. If like suppose you all are sitting in a class, in your classroom, are you all similar to each other by appearance? No. So that is what you call it as biodiversity. So biodiversity is defined as the difference among the individuals of the same generation, or difference among the living organisms of the same generation is called as biodiversity, the living diversity. So what is like living means what? Living organism, and differences of what? Of height, of weight, of appearance, we can say of color, etc. So this is what you call it as biodiversity. And biodiversity makes the world really vast, and the numbers of species in the whole world is estimated to be, numbers of species estimated to be is 1.7 to 1.8 million. So these are the number of species existing in the world. Now, how one can study the species? Isn't it so difficult? It is a big massive number. To understand this number, to analyze, to study this number of species, it is not so very easy, because there are so many plants. You know, plants also you see there are bryophytes, pteridophytes, angiosperms, gymnosperms, algae, fungus, bacteria, lichens. So like it is so very difficult to understand them, to study them. So for that we have to follow certain steps in order to understand the biodiversity of the world, in order to what we can say study the biodiversity of the world scientifically. To study one single species also we need to follow these steps. So what are the steps to be followed? Now these steps to be followed is, always remember, the first is identification. The first step is identification. The second step is characterization. The second step is characterization. The third step is classification. The third step is classification. And the fourth step is nomenclature. The fourth step is nomenclature. So these are the 4 steps which we need to follow when we want to study scientifically any species, or we want to study biodiversity in detail. So what is the first step? Like suppose I am giving you one example, okay? You got a new species or a plant species. What is the first thing you are going to do? You are going to identify na कि वो कौन सी species है, क्या है. So the first point to study any species is identification. The second step is characterization. Now you saw that, oh yes, this species is a plant species. Then you will characterize it. कि ये plant कैसा है, कैसे दिख रहा है, flowering है या non flowering है, फिर वो seeds produce कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है, फिर कहीं हम वो कैसे टाइप का reproduction दिखा रहा है, वो कौन से टाइप का pollination दिखा रहा है, वो land plant है या फिर water plant है. तो मतलब फिर हम उसकी क्या करेंगे, हम उसकी characters को study करेंगे. We will study in detail the characters. And after characterization we will follow classification. Yes, then we will classify that. हो सकता है कि ये aquatic plant है, या तो फिर ये xerophytic मतलब desert में रहने वाला plant है, या तो फिर ये mesophytic plant है, एक mid conditions में survive करने वाला plants है. तो थर्ड स्टेप जो हम फॉलो करेंगे वो है क्लासिफिकेशन, और उसके बाद में हम अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे क्या है nomenclature. Nomenclature is what? Nomenclature is a system of naming. Scientific system of naming जिसे हम कहते हैं वो होता है nomenclature. And most widely accepted nomenclature कौन सा है? तो most widely accepted nomenclature है वो है binomial nomenclature. लेकिन नोमेनक्लेचर करने से पहले हम क्या करते हैं, उसे क्लासिफाई करते हैं। तो क्लासिफाई हम कैसे करते हैं, हम उसे क्लासिफाई करते हैं ग्रुप में, कि भाई ये पर्टिकुलर जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है वो सपोज ज़ेरोफाइटिक प्लांट के हैं, ये है वो हाइड्रोफाइटिक प्लांट्स के हैं, और दूसरे हैं वो मेसोफाइटिक प्लांट्स के हैं। तो हम उसे क्लासिफाई करते हैं ग्रुप में, और उस ग्रुप को हम कह सकते हैं इट इज नोन एज टैक्सॉन। उसे हम क्या कहते हैं, टैक्सॉन। और टैक्सॉन की स्टडी को हम कहते हैं टैक्सोनॉमी। सो साइंटिफिक स्टडी ऑफ एनी ग्रुप, एनी टैक्सॉन इज नोन एज टैक्सोनॉमी। इज दिस क्लियर? किसी भी ग्रुप को अगर हम स्टडी करते हैं साइंटिफिकली, जैसे कि अगर क्लास में मैंने दो ग्रुप बना दिए, लाइक देयर इज वन ग्रुप ऑफ बॉयज एंड अनदर ग्रुप ऑफ गर्ल्स, देन व्हाट यू कॉल इट एज, इट इज नोन एज टैक्सॉन। टैक्सॉन ऑफ गर्ल्स एंड टैक्सॉन ऑफ बॉयज। सो दैट इज व्हाट यू कॉल इट एज टैक्सोनॉमी, ग्रुप्स जिसे हम कहते हैं। तो और उसके हम एक लेबल देंगे, जैसे कि बॉयज, तो वो क्या हुआ, उसके अंदर हुई कैटेगरी हुई, तो वो हम बाद में स्टडी करेंगे। लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट, नोमेनक्लेचर। नाउ व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय नोमेनक्लेचर? नोमेनक्लेचर क्या होता है? नोमेनक्लेचर इज अ साइंटिफिक मेथड ऑफ नेमिंग जो यूनिवर्सली एक्सेप्टेड हो, which is universally accepted. So that is what you call it as nomenclature. And in nomenclature, we will be studying about one type of nomenclature that is known as binomial nomenclature. हम कौन सा study करने वाले हैं? Binomial nomenclature. And this binomial nomenclature was given by Carolus Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomy. Classification, taxonomy का father किसको consider किया जाता है? Carolus Linnaeus को। तो now we'll be studying after this about the binomial nomenclature. Now let us understand about binomial nomenclature. So here we go with the topic of binomial nomenclature. Okay, what is binomial nomenclature? It was given by Carolus Linnaeus. It was given by Carolus Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomy. Okay, now binomial nomenclature means what? Two naming system. Bi, that is two. Nomial, names. Nomenclature, system. So when to any living organism, if you give two names, it is given by the binomial nomenclature. So two naming system is known as binomial nomenclature. Now suppose if you want to give a name to the plant, it is under the ICBN, that is International Code for International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. Botany means that is for plants. Whereas if you want to name a animal, suppose if you want to name a animal, then we will go for ICZN, that is International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Zoological Nomenclature. Similarly, if we want to go for viruses, so suppose if it is for viruses, then it is ICVN. It is very similar, International Code for Virus Nomenclature. So this is how you go for naming system. Like if you want to name a plant, it will be under the ICBN. If you want to name an animal, it will be under the ICZN. And if you want to name a virus, it will be under the what we can say is ICBN, that is International Code for Viral Nomenclature. Now, prior naming something, or some species, we need to follow some principles of binomial nomenclature, or we can also call them as rules of binomial nomenclature. So let us understand the rules of binomial nomenclature. So what are the rules of binomial nomenclature? So the very first rule is that the name should be given in two naming system. So what is that? The first name is a generic name or the genus name, and the second name is the species name. So the first rule is what? It should have two names. The first name is a genus name, whereas the second name is the species name. So like suppose if I am giving you an example of the name. Let's say example of the name is Panthera leo. Okay, what is it? Panthera leo. Now so Panthera is the genus name and Leo is the species name. So it can be said that the genus name should be begin with capital. Second rule number. So genus name should begin with, you can see this, P is written capital. And rest all with the small letters. So you can see this, the P is capital and rest all is in a small letter. So only genus name should begin with the capital letter. Okay, now the third rule. What is the third rule? That compulsory, you can write that the first epithet means a name is generic, whereas the second epithet or the name is specific or the species. The next rule is the name. Let's say another example. If I am writing the name of a mango tree, it is Mangifera indica. So see how I have to write. If I am writing it, I have to write it in italics or it should be underlined. Okay. So if it is printed, if the name, the scientific name, if the binomial nomenclature name is printed, it should be printed in italics. And if it is written by hand, then it should be underlined. Suppose if you are printing that name, you will be printing it in an italics fashion. And suppose if you are writing that name, and then you will underline that name. Like suppose Mangifera indica, I have written this name, so I have to put it in underline. If I am writing another name, let's say Homo sapiens, that is the scientific name of humans. So if I am writing it, I have to underline. And the fifth rule is that the name should be written in Latin language. So whatever these names are written, maybe Homo sapiens, sapiens, Panthera leo, Mangifera indica, or whatever names we give in a scientific way, they should be written in which language? They should be written in a Latin language. Now in some of the names, we write L at the end. Like suppose if I am writing Mangifera indica L at the end. What does this L indicates? This L indicates Linnaeus, that we are following the binomial nomenclature or the rules and regulations of Linnaeus. So in order to honor Linnaeus, we are putting L at the end of some of the names. So this is all about the rules and regulations of binomial nomenclature.